Alrighty, this book, titled in English The Jealous Kind, is one of my 3 best books. It's one of a trilogy of 3. The other 2 books in the trilogy are Wayfaring Stranger and House of the Rising Sun. But this story, which is set in the year 1952 and 1953, is, I think, to my mind, a very good book about that era. But it's about more than an era. It was actually referred to in many reviews as a coming-of-age book. I don't think that's what it is. There's an element of that. It's, again, about America's entry into the post-World War II era, an era which is clearly defined by neo-colonialism, and that's where we are today. But it's about some kids, high school kids, who get in an awful lot of trouble. And the 1950s was a great time to be around, but the portrayal of it is often, at least in popular culture in this country, mythology, in my view. Yeah, it was a very nice time to be around, but what was actually occurring during that period? Answer, the class war, and it was a violent one. And it was the era of juvenile delinquency, the beginning of the civil rights movement, which was an extremely violent one. I mean, not on the part of the civil rights workers, but there were atrocities committed against people of color and young white people who tried to help with integration, to help integrate the country. Also, it was a time of music, but not the music that people often associate today with the 1950s. It was a time when people actually feared black music. This is a fact. I was in Alabama in 1956. It was against the law to play rock and roll music on the radio. That's what it was like back then. It was also the era of the Cold War and then a very hot war in Korea. And it was also the era of Joseph McCarthy, Richard Nixon, and the House Un-American Activity Committee. So it really wasn't like the series Happy Days. It was wonderful television, popular entertainment, but it was largely fiction. Anyway, if you ever have a chance to read this book, I'd like to hear from you, because I'm really fond of it. And it's based on people I knew and events that occurred in my lifetime. Anyway, I was born in the Depression, and those people who were born in the Depression are a transitional generation. We are probably the last who will remember what people call traditional America. Others can say the country is the same. It is not. We live in a very different culture with a very different mindset than the 1930s and the 1940s. There's no similarity. But who cares? Who cares to live in the world you're born into? Okay, let's go take a look at the horses.